Christ has eyes for each and every one of us. Akala natin walang nakatingin sa atin. Akala natin pag may problema tayo, tinatalikuran tayo ng Diyos. Hindi po nakatingin ng Diyos sa'yo. Sa kalagitnaan ng kalungkutan, paghihinagpis, problema, you are not abandoned. God is watching you. He knows what you're going through and He sees you. He sees every detail of your problem. When we're sick, pag nagkasakit tayo, walang bumibisita sa atin. Wala man lang nagtatanong sa atin, kumusta ka na? Masakit pa ba? Wala. And sometimes that's the time we feel so crushed inside that nobody cares for me. Then we begin to doubt God if He really cares. Well, today, my dear brothers and sisters, let's just remind you, if no one else can see you, if no one else cares for you, God will always be there. Nakita siya ni Lord. Then the Lord called for him. The Lord motioned for him to come. You see, there is a calling. There is a calling of God for each and every one of us. And that calling is not about religion. When God calls a person, He does not call you to a religion. When God calls a person to Himself, that is a personal call of your Creator to His creation. And that is the most powerful thing that you could ever have when God calls you. Tinawag ni Kristo si Bartimeus. Sa sobrang ingay sa palibot, sa sobrang daming tao, nandun pa rin si Bartimeus, sigaw ng sigaw, hindi niya alam, nakita na siya ng Diyos. Sigaw pa rin siya, Jesus, Son of God. Si Lord nakatingin na sa kanya. And so what happened, the same people who stopped him from praying are the same people sabi, oy, tinatawag ka, halika na. Kaya talaga, huwag kayong titingin sa tao. Pag sa loob ng community natin, there will be people who will share Christ with you. And there will be people in our community that will stop you from walking with Christ, nakakastumble. But there will be others that will bring you closer to Jesus. Don't look at people when you are in the church. You look to God only. Because it's not people who are calling you. It's God Himself who calls you. Bakit sa tao ko nakatingin? Sino bang tumatawag sa'yo? Ang Diyos calls you. And this is the most beautiful thing. Nung tinawag niya si Bartimeus, Bartimeus cannot hear the Lord. And so the community, that people came to him, hey Bartimeus, tama na, quiet na, tinatawag ka na. Sinagot na yung panalangin mo, nandun na, tinawag ka na. Yeah, you got his attention. Now you go. The first thing Bartimeus did when he stood up, nung alam niyang tinawag siya ng Panginoon, nung tinatawag na siya ni Kristo, the first thing he did was to throw his cloak away. Alam yung cloak na yan? Yung cloak niya, yun ang una niyang tinapon. Tinapon niya kaagad. You know why? Because he knows something will change in his life. Alam niya. Alam niyo yung cloak na yan? Yung cloak na yan, that is the comfort that Bartimeus, the only comfort he has in the world, yung cloak niya. Pag mainit, tatago niya yung sarili niya para hindi siya ma-sunburn. Hindi masira yung flawless skin niya. Pag umuulan, ganun din. Yung cloak na yan covers him. Pag mahangin at malamig, yan din yung kino-cover niya sa sarili niya. That cloak symbolizes Bartimeus' sense of security. Sa sobrang hirap ba naman, yung sense of security mo, yung jacket mo na lang. But when Christ called him, he knew something is going to change. Alam niyo, may magbabago. Tinapon niya na yon. He threw it away. And he came to Jesus. You know, sometimes in our life, marami tayong pinaghahawakan. Kaya hindi nga tayo makalapit-lapit sa Panginoon dahil nakahawak-hawak tayo din. Ano ba yung pinaghahawakan natin? Yaman? Do you feel secured because of wealth? One day when we come to the hour of death, you will realize money can never save you from death. Sino bang pinanghahawakan mo? Yung magaling mong doktor? Oy, Bishop, yung doktor ko. Top-notcher yan sa board. Magaling talaga. Marami akong doktor na kilalang magaling. Nauna pang namatay sa pasyente nila. Because doctors, they get sick also. Huwag niyo isipin na yung doktor hindi nagkakasakit. Nagkakasakit rin yung doktor minsan. Alam niyo ba yan? Pare nagkakasala din. Lalo na yung obispo, nagkakasala din. Ay, huwag talagang aasa sa tao. Huwag titingin sa tao. Palagi yung paningin natin, fix your eyes on Jesus, the author and the finisher of your faith. No matter what happens, even if people you trust and people that you look up to, they will fail you, never mind. Because my eyes is on Christ who never fails. And He will not fail at all. Let go. Let go. Surrender and just go to Christ. Bartimaeus threw his cloak and went to Christ. Sabi nga nila, when a blind person begins to see, the first thing he throws away is his cane. Yung baston niyang unang itatapon niya. Alam niyo yung mga bulag, di ba? Ganyan yan. Pero pag yan nakakita na, tinatapon niya kaagad yan. In this case, Bartimaeus, he only had his cloak. Yun lang ang pag-aari niya sa mundong ito. But when Christ called him and he stood up, knowing that God is calling him, he threw that cloak away. It's gone. It's no more. I'm not going to put my hope, my confidence on that thing. I'm going to look onto Jesus. And then he approached Christ. Wow. When he met Jesus, etong sabi ni Lord sa kanya. Wala nang palaboy-laboy pa. You know, saan ka nakatira? Anong number mo? Ilang taon ka na? Hindi ganyan si Lord. You know? Akala mo naman DSWD. Hindi DSWD ang Diyos. When Bartimaeus finally met the Lord, when he came face to face, ang sabi ni Kristo sa kanya, what do you want me to do for you? Wow. Last week yung gospel natin, yung dalawang apostles, dalawang disciple ni Jesus, si James at si John, they came to Christ. Etong sabi nila, Lord, we want you to do for us what we ask. Sila nagsabi, you do for us, we want you to do for us what we ask of you. Anong hiningi nila kay Lord? Sabi nila, we want position, power, and authority. Pero si Bartimaeus iba. Bartimaeus, ang sabi niya lang sa Panginoon, have mercy, maawa ka lang sa akin. Kahit anong ibigay mo, okay na ako. But the Lord Himself, siya mismo, si Kristo mismo ang nagsabi, what do you want me to do for you? Baliktad. Because of humility, the grace of God would abound. God always gives grace to the humble. But He also always resists the proud. And so in humility, Bartimaeus came and he said, have mercy on me. And Jesus said, what do you want me to do for you? Anong gusto mong gawin ko para sa'yo? And Bartimaeus said, I want to see. Anong hiningi niya? Did he ask for money? Humingi ba siya? Bigyan mo ako ng limpak-limpak na salapi. Bigyan mo ako ng mansyon sa Boracay. Bigyan mo ako ng maraming lupa. Bigyan mo ako ng kung ano-anong mga bagay. He did not ask for those things. Give me position, give me authority, make me something. He did not ask for that. He asked for what is essential in life. He asked for the most important thing that we could have, and that is sight. That is sight. Sabi niya, I want to see. And Jesus said to him, okay, you go. Walang daming kwento, walang daming etche-buretche. When he said, I want to see, Jesus said, okay, you go. Your faith has already healed you. Why? Because before you cry out to God, God already knows what you need. Before you even reach out to God, God already has this intention in His heart to help you, to bless you. Nandyan na yan sa puso ng Diyos. Hindi mahirap kausapin ng Diyos. Ang Diyos na nakakaalam ng lahat ng aspeto, lahat ng bagay sa buhay mo, alam niya na yan. All He wanted was for Bartimaeus to reach out in faith. All He wanted was Bartimaeus to trust Him more than he would trust his cloak. Anong hinihingi mo sa Diyos? Let go of the other things and just put your mind and heart on God. Ikaw lang, Lord, makakatulong sa akin. And so sabi ni Lord sa kanya, okay, go Bartimaeus. Your faith has healed you. And that moment, Bartimaeus began to see. And the first thing he saw, ito yung gusto ko talaga to pag meditate ko. Ang una niyang nakita, yung magandang mukha ng Panginoon. Ano ro puos it mata, kung hindi mo mata makita, ruuyahon it atong Ginoo. Diba? Ay nagmata ka pa. Ba't ka pa nagkaroon ng mata na ayaw mo naman tingnan yung Panginoon? Ang Panginoon na may likha ng buhay mo, ang Panginoon na minahal ka ng lubos sa cross. What good is your eyes if you cannot see Him? If you will not and refuse to see Him? Kaya sabi ni Bartimaeus, when he saw Christ, the next thing he did, when Jesus started to walk, nagpatuloy yung Panginoon sa paglalakbay niya, Bartimaeus followed Jesus on the road, on the way he walked with Christ. My dear brothers and sisters, if you have received a miracle from God, ask yourself, sumusunod ba ako sa Kanya? Hindi. Yan ang tanungin mo.